span?
A sack of potatoes, 1 bag of potatoes. A sack of potatoes, 1 bag of potatoes. A sack of potatoes, 1 bag of potatoes. A sack of potatoes, 1 bag of potatoes.
We cannot talk about politics without talking about that clown. He represents very well the far left in Canada, out of touch and disconnected from reality. We are live talking about Canadian politics. We will react to question period, all 5 of them. I selected some moments because, let's be honest, it's 1 hour each. We won't go through 5 hours of content. We will only go through the start and the end because I feel like anything in between, it's more like rinse and repeat. So what really matters is the start and the end. But I still enjoy watching the full hour usually. How are you, Dragon?
I'm good. I mean, you kind of, if you listen beyond a little bit of it, I mean, to be honest, if you really wanted to go through them and pick them out,
That'd be very long.
It would
And
no the well, okay. So they stick. The only reason, see what you have here is an example of it's the British Parliament league. Sorry, it's like Parliament politics where you have the questions are asked, but it's also the format with they can present it. Now, questions presented, you can tell they cut it down as well, but not entirely. Now, the problem is it's usually like the same question asked over and over again, but
to drive home the point that they're incompetent.
But the thing
yeah,
is,
right.
there is other like parts to it. Like if you take it and you clip montaged it or something, it makes more sense. But they ask the main questions. Now, I will say what's funny, it is not as entertaining, but the idea is a lot of what new faces are very much appreciated amongst them because a lot of the other ones are.
You will see new face today. You will see new face.
No, there are
especially the NDP. You will see the NDP.
No, the problem is itself is if I'm going to say this: if your food crisis is as bad as they are claiming it is,
it's worse than you think.
If it is worse,
it's worse.
I mean, I understand government. The response is bad. There is no way. I'm going to be honest. If you really, really want to be kicked out of or have a miniature revolution, let the people get hungry.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's
nice statement.
Basically, the problem is through these different ones, they're asking the same thing. Where's the budget? The food thing. That gets a little old, but there is technically, I guess, if you're harping them on the gun trade stuff.
That will happen. Don't worry.
I have a question. What is with your gun thing? Because I was watching a what do you call it? Police. What do you call the camera? I don't know. I'm thinking where I'm going blank. Camera on a cop. The camera for cops. They were arresting guys with a whole bunch of guns in Canada.
So the idea of the gun grab. We have very, very severe laws about gun.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. You need training, and it's only very specific gun. Most of these guns are guns to hunt deers and such. But here's the thing. In Quebec, we had 2 big events. One happened in 2010, which is 15 years ago. And the other one was, hear me out on that, 1989. And it's hilarious because Quebec is one of the most progressive, if we can call it that way. So we are the most anti-gun. And what's going on is Quebec holds 80 seats in Parliament. So that means they have a lot of influence in who will be in government. And the Liberals, they know they win election because of Quebec. And because of that, they're like, you know what? We will please them. We will appease them. We will do the gun grab thing. And what's going on with that? We divert police resources in a country that's riddled by crime because of stupid liberal policies. and laws. And on top of that, it's a lot of money. And the worst part in all of that, most of the gun crime, they
Yeah.
are made by illegal guns. So
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
all,
Yeah.
all,
So
all
they're
of the
called
people that
illegal
commit
guns
it,
can be called ghost guns. Basically, it's like
Oh, maybe I like the 3D printer like type
no,
thing.
no,
Is that
no,
what you
no,
mean?
no. Ghost
Oh,
guns
okay.
come in there's a they used to be called ghost guns because they don't have any kind of serial number or tracking.
Mm.
They're either
well,
made
they
in
they are they're obtained in black markets. But
The reason I was
now
confused is like I didn't know you guys could even allowed to have guns. That's why I was confused
we
on because on the
we
cop
need
cam,
a
the cop got
license.
shot by he shot by a guy with a gun through his door. He
Yeah,
shot the cop and killed him. Was what he said,
yeah.
and he had a whole bunch of guns in the house. So I was like confused. That's what I
Yeah,
was asking.
we have license. It's very specific weapon, and it's not everyone that can get these license. And again, a lot of these guns are for hunting. And just to finish off there on the gun grab thing, because it will be very important for the question period we will cover very soon. Um, the minister in charge of that gun grab didn't know about the title of that gun license, so he doesn't know his own field he should know about. And to top that, he was caught on recording without his knowledge, and he was brutally honest on how useless that gun grab was and how of a political play this was and not necessarily useful. And yeah, so he was caught on tape saying my gun grab thing won't work, but Mark Carney wants me to push it, so I will push it because he told me so and because the Quebec voter base wants it. And it's kind of hilarious because most of the Quebecers I know don't give a crap about guns, but hey, this is what they think. Shall be it. Now we shall start with September 22nd question period. So this was Monday, the first one. Let's get into it.
So if not,
Oral
like it's kind
questions,
of difficult
question
for people even
orale.
have guns, right? Is what you're saying? Like that's
What?
if not very many people have guns, what would be the point of a
Yeah,
gun?
it's
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
very hard to get guns, and you cannot have like assault rifle. Like the way they frame it, they say, "Oh,
Mm.
assault rifle," but no, it's like one of the guns is called AR something, but it was
AR-15 is what that guy had who shot that cop. Yeah.
yeah, but the AR something I that I heard about,
Yeah.
I heard it wasn't even a rifle, it's called AR for another reason, but
Oh, okay.
again, we cannot have like assault rifle. It's not part of the authorized gun.
So what would be the
um
point of doing all this then? Like it's like a waste of time. Uh,
Yeah, it's really a waste of time, and they keep saying it's assault rifle. We don't want that here, but we still don't have it yet. So again, they are gaslighting and lying. So
you've had an AR ban probably. So like in under Clinton we have I think it's like 93, 94. We did the ban on the full assault rifles. Basically in the US the only difference between an A and a full auto, so anything that's full auto,
we don't have anything full auto.
you
That's
can't. No, well,
yeah.
that's the big thing. Like by the U.S. standards, what people don't get about U.S. laws, if you switch anything to full auto, you have to register it with the ATF, and that's an additional license. That makes a lot of people. Let's say people come home from the war, like years ago, they brought machine guns or that. Even if it was an antique firearm. Now, what's funny is in Canada, right? Because you are saying like there's a difference between a hunting and a sports style rifle, but
we,
most
we we can use some of the sports gun depending which one,
and
but there are some that are
to be
authorized.
honest, as I stated before or probably prior, Charlie Kirk and other people can get killed by a rifle as much as anything else.
Yeah,
And the big deal is, okay, let's assume you have a competition gun. A competition gun is like, let's say a Lavoa or an AR-15. Like now in the US you have to have special training and classes as well that's monitored.
yeah.
Now most part
Keep it short.
So
because
the
we
big
have a
deal
lot
is
of
if
content to go through.
so yes, see. The
Okay.
idea is if they're doing a gun trade program, it's nothing new.
And it won't work anyway.
It's not going to work, but the idea, I hate to say it, it's usually the first step before a government can take a more of a full control. But let's be very honest. A gun trade, but it also depends on the prevalence of the amount of those firearms they want off the streets. Now, if a lot of gun crime is being committed by what you call illegal guns, which are used to be called ghost guns in the U.S. with no serial numbers, or they've been filed off. That's what kills more people in Chicago and Detroit.
Yeah. That's interesting. So let's get into the first segment we shall cover. So the way we do it, we listen to the question and the answer, and we will pause at some point when I feel like we have enough content to react to. Let's do this.
The honorable leader of the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, I must admit that I've never seen this before. On Monday, a minister said that his own program would not work. He was caught on recording saying that. Then on Tuesday, he announced that he would go forward with the program. He was right on Monday. It's a waste of $750 million, which will be taken away from our border and police services. It will be used to go after hunters and sports shooters. Will the Prime Minister sack this minister?
Fire him, basically.
Minister of Public Safety.
Merci pour la question.
Thank you for the question.
Let me just take this opportunity to talk about the compensation program that we launched today. The pilot will take place in Cape Breton. There are roughly, yes, I want to thank the colleagues from Cape Breton for their support, but I also want to thank the police chief, as well as those who are going to step forward and apply for the rebate, Mr. Speaker. This is smart policy. We're moving forward on it, and I fully believe that we will be able to implement this throughout the country over the next year.
So, first of all, it's lies. He said himself, that's the guy that was caught on tape speaking about that fabulous gun draft that won't work. And now he's saying it will work. It's gaslighting, it's lying, it's hilarious. And yeah, it's just funny how he will sink himself like that.
It's not that it doesn't.
He's a weird baby face.
It's not that it doesn't work. You can tell it's like he's promoting. Okay, now for a rebate, you have to offer it. That means somebody's going to take one of those guns that is illegal and get a turn in for it.
Yeah,
now,
but by law they won't be able, because of that guy. They won't be able to own the weapon anyway. So they pretend you have a choice, but you don't really have a choice.
The main reason a program like this doesn't work is, so let's say in the U.S. you want to control what firearms are used. You have what permits can be given, but also every state can regulate clip size to about what bullets are sold. Now, I'm assuming in Canada, he's offering the trade-in. Now, the problem is you're either going to leak. Now, depending on the finite portions of the law they're enforcing, there's going to be people who turn in their guns anyways, but it is also a measure that they think will work. But there's also the
Do they have numbers of how many people actually turned in guns? Do they have that?
No. I'm sure.
They didn't.
The big thing here is you'll hear from both sides, and this is summarizing. They're going to basically say you're going to go after the huntsman. Now, conservatives will say you're going to go after the huntsman. The liberal people are going to state their position as straight up, it's protecting safe spaces. Now, the thing about this is, but then you're also going to see both sides are playing politics with this.
Yeah.
But let me say this before I move on. The idea is, and this is a very constant theme, this guy was stupid and said this. Now, it's a bad gotcha moment that he's trying to seize upon. And I'm not saying that you can't do this to either side. He should have known better than to compose himself. Now, it's a news cycle.
No, it's me. Sorry, it wasn't about what he said. I have a thing about you should know better.
Yeah, you should know better. You should know better. But
If you're in government, don't say something stupid and assume there's a recording device nearby.
Yeah, that's true. And again, you will see that we'll keep going back at it. And just before we play, I must also point out to something. You hear the translator when the opposition leader asked his question. That means he was speaking in French, and Gary's answer was in English. Therefore, it's kind of bad because it shows that the Liberal MP right now doesn't speak French, or is not competent enough to speak in French, and that could impact some of the writing in Quebec, because a lot of these Quebecers, when they watch Question Period and they hear French, they're like, because we are that stupid in Quebec. So when we have a Liberal MP like that doesn't speak French, well, doesn't look good. You're losing votes. So we are ready to play the next few questions, but you will see a trend and recurring question and recurring gaslighting and lying from the government in place.
The honorable leader of the opposition. The exact amount of confidence.
But he said the exact opposite in the recording, Mr. Speaker. He admitted that confiscating $750 million worth of our arms will not work. And he even made a promise to his renter. He promised to hire 1,000 border agents. Meanwhile, 400% of firearm crimes are from firearms that come up from the border. He lost 600 dangerous criminals somewhere on our streets, and he doesn't even know how to define a firearm or what's a dangerous firearm. So he's not capable of doing his job. Will the Prime Minister sack him?
Fire him,
Mr.
basically.
Speaker,
There's like only 2 white men in this whole crowd. Oh, 3. Sorry.
The guns are off our streets by ensuring that people who are able to turn in their firearms are able to get compensated for those prohibited weapons. That is what we're doing with the launch of our gun buyback program today. We will continue to make smart criminal justice reforms to ensure that criminals are off our streets, and bail is tougher for repeat violent offenders, Mr. Speaker.
And that's a lie, because the Liberal introduced weak-year bail.
Mr. Speaker, in all my years here, I've not seen this before. On Monday, a minister says that his program won't work. On Tuesday, he says he's going ahead with the program, a program that will take $750 million away from frontline border and police services to go after Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle. A waste of money that police say they won't implement, and that the minister was caught on recording saying they will never implement. He even promised to bail his tenant out of jail if he breaks the law. When will the Prime Minister fire this minister?
And it's hilarious because Pierre Poilievre has been in Parliament for 20 years.
That's kind of you realize that's a kind of a bait tactic from his side.
How do you pronounce that last name? That is a crazy last name.
Going forward, Mr. Speaker, are 2,500 prohibited weapons, AR-15s that are killing people around the world, including those in mass casualty incidents in Canada, Mr. Speaker.
How many people do die from guns in Canada?
What's your question?
How many people do die from guns in Canada? I don't really hear very much. I know it just
never happens.
That's what I thought. Like the cop thing was the first time I heard about it. So I was like, yeah.
What I was telling D-Lord, I don't know if you were there backstage when I said it, but basically in Quebec, we had 2 events in the last 14 years. We had Polytechnique in 1989, and we had Dawson in 2010.
Then you did have
are
that
the
incident.
only 2 shootings.
You also then had
recently a cop got shot.
No, then you also had that shooting where
Quebec.
They shot the guy who.
Oh, what was that though?
Then you had the guy
that wasn't Canada, but not Quebec.
Yes, it was. It said Canada. Oh, yeah, I get what you said. Sorry.
It was a guy that was defending his property. That a guy tried to break into a guy's car up there, and he shot a drug head.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
But then he got jailed, and it's like there's this whole thing. But you don't have mass shootings up there, basically.
It never happens.
crime. He also has to have a real conversation about guns, Mr. Speaker.
But he had one.
Leader of the opposition.
Propaganda
Mr.
talking
Speaker,
point.
that minister did have a real conversation about guns. He was caught on tape admitting that his program won't work because it will go after legitimate hunters and sport shooters rather than
Yeah, that's
after
crazy.
the
I just looked it up.
80% of guns that are used in crime which come illegally across the border. He admits that his $750 million program won't work. He offered to bail his tenant out of jail if he breaks the rules. He lost track of 6,000 foreign criminals in our country. He admits he doesn't know what a gun license is. More than half of Canadians don't feel safe under his watch. Will the Prime Minister do the only thing that will secure our country and fire this incompetent minister?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Yeah, I asked about the gun thing, and it says that Quebec's firearm mortality rate is among the lowest in Canada. So,
Yeah. But again, our voter base, they are heavy liberals that are so scared of the bad conservative that this is what happens. So now
Yeah, that's crazy.
so Sean Fraser, that guy right now that will speak out, he is disgusting, and I will speak about him before we answer his gaslight and lies. That piece of garbage will push for law C9 and he pushed for C63. So these two laws are censorship law, and they want to take away our freedom of expression. They want to weaponize hate speech, and they want to jail people for speaking out a bit like the UK. And C9 is the worst offender because they also want to criminalize protests the way they did with the Freedom Convoy. But it will be worse because we won't have a attorney general involved in the case, and it will be worse because they won't need the Emergency Act to implement such things. So that guy is the face of fascism act. I don't know how to. He's a fascist. He's the face of what a fascist should look like. I don't know how to say that
when it says
anymore.
the highest thing that really kills people in Quebec, I don't think I can say the word, but it's ending themselves. That's really sad. That's sad. That's horrible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But again, that guy there, that prick, is the worst minister in that lineup. I detest him. Like the guy with glasses with gray hair right beside him, I also hate him. But these two guys are pure garbage. They belong in a jail cell, especially the glass guy. Like he was a crazy environmentalist that did jail time for bombing something. I don't know what, but like, and now he's a minister. That's how crazy we are here.
What? Yeah, that's weird. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Serious about public safety if you're not serious about gun crime. My honorable colleague on the other side of the House raises concerns about the illegal flow of guns across the border. When he was in government, he made cuts that made it easier for illegal guns to come across the border.
That's funny because he mentioned when he was in government. It's more than 10 years ago, because the last conservative mandate was 2011 to 2015, and they bring this back. It's hilarious. It's
crazy.
It's lying. It's gaslighting. It's pretending the other is the issue. Well, you have been in charge for 10 years. It's the liberals for you. I hate it so much, but it's funny. It's funny.
No, it's just they're at the zenith of their power, and then they surpass the 10-year mark.
Yeah.
The problem is, this is why in the U.S. our people usually call it a weird flip-flopping in the U.S. Let's assume you have conservatives and liberals both. You don't have one party in control for a decade plus traditionally. You maybe have 6 years. Now, by the way, I do have the text of the law basically put up. Now, the thing is, unless the punishment does the first reading of it, believe it or not, on that law, because I was actually surprised you didn't want me to pull the video on the discussion of it.
We will cover that eventually. Don't you worry. Tonight we focus on question period, but to foreshadow it, Miss Sparkle, C9, the worst of the two discussing laws this guy is pushing, want to jail for life someone that is deemed to be hateful. And it's so vague.
What?
It can be hateful toward the government. So, for example, if you criticize, if you say, yeah, the government, they put it in debt, because of them, we are broke. it can be deemed hateful, and you can spend your life in jail for saying that.
That's crazy.
And that guy that's pushing for it. Now, as of right now, it's not implemented yet.
No, they're trying to get it in place. It
Yeah.
basically clarifies by its first reading. It reclarifies symbols in certain types of speech as potential. Like they go into clarification of Nazi symbols, which should be obvious.
Not just that, we can pick any symbol. That's all.
There's that clause too.
We can say, okay, the pride flag is a hate symbol. Therefore, if I see a pride flag, you can spend some time in jail. This is all.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Stupid law is. And Fraser is pushing it, and it's hilarious because we will have more gaslighting at some point. He will be like, "We are the party of the Charter of Rights," but then they proceed to do that kind of crap that goes against our Charter of Rights. Anyway, let's get back to the reality.
Let's go.
I hate seeing Fraser so much. That guy. Part of the housing crisis is because of him, because prior he was the housing minister and it all blew up under him, and now he's the justice minister. Like, it's a good idea to have him there. Anyway,
the dude with the glasses that you hate too has the weirdest look on his face right now. I don't know what that look is supposed to mean, but he's like looks lost.
We're going to be adding 1,000 officers at the border. He also has campaigned on a commitment to legalize assault-style weapons and claims they're used for hunting. There are hunters in my community I'd love to introduce him to. They don't shoot deer with AR-15s.
By the way, that part where he said that part about you don't shoot deers with AR-15s,
the public safety minister is
that's
not
an easy
incompetent enough to be
shutdown
fired
for
because they have,
anyone
by
who
comparison,
advocates.
an even more incompetent minister of justice.
That's been going on in the U.S.
Relative, Mr. Speaker. And I'm glad that to prove his incompetence, I'm glad he brought up the issue of border security, because we asked the government in an order paper question last week whether they'd keep their promise on 1,000 new border guards. They got back saying not only have they not hired the 1,000 more, they have no plans to do so. More incompetence from this public safety minister. When will the Prime Minister fire him?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, with respect to the commitment to hire 1,000 officers at the border, I would point my honourable colleague opposite to the election campaign platform that Canadians across the country, including of the riding of Carleton, supported to make sure that we defend our border against the flow of illegal guns and drugs into Canada. Mr. Speaker, for years I have watched Conservatives brush away gun crime as something that's completely unserious.
More than 10 years ago, but sure.
Law-abiding people who shoot guns in this country. The fact is there are criminals who shot innocent people. We are going to do something about it.
I feel like maybe the gun thing is like a what do you call it when you're trying to get someone focused on something else that's not
boogeyman.
Like a red herring.
Trump, but now they know it doesn't work anymore, so they place it there. But
it's not a control. Like, if you're worried about mass shootings, right? Because
you guys have mass shootings.
They don't have mass shootings. What they have is the random acts of violence. It's like the guy who was trying to defend his property and had to shoot the guy,
but you see,
who was armed, breaking
Dragon. It wasn't like that when we had the Conservative. You know why? We had actual law that would held people accountable. They would spend some time in jail. But now, because of the Liberals, since 10 years, they have catch and release laws. They have laws that make minimum sentence for really bad crimes. Therefore, crime are increasing. The other thing, they broke
harm reduction.
Shut up, D-Lord. The other thing is immigration. We used to have the best system in place, but guess what? The Liberals, they broke that system as well. And what's going on? We have people that come from very violent place, and they don't want to integrate. They don't want to join Canada. They want to tear it apart because they hate their country, and they bring that hate with them here. And this is what happens. We have criminals, and again, it's because of very, very weak laws, lots of immigration, people that don't integrate in society well, and mental illness. Let's be honest, mental illness is a big part, and that's what's going on. And
I looked into it. It said that Quebec has only had 5 mass shootings. That was 1992. 2006, 2017, and 1985. That's like a long ass time ago. So what? This just seems pointless. What's the goal in all this too? Like when they do this, what's the goal?
The question period.
Yeah. With this, yeah. When they do
So
this.
basically, the intent behind it
Yeah.
is for a voter to look at that, because all of the people in that room are elected. That's our representatives. So these are all elected members, and the idea is voters, and of course, not every voter are looking at it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have like another stupid liberal government in place. But the idea is the voters, they see that and they decide who they will vote for in the
Oh,
next
okay.
election, because they see it, they're like, oh, the conservatives think that and this, oh, the liberal think that or this.
Okay.
And the other idea is the opposition right now, the ones that are asking questions, their ideas is to prove the viewer and the people, look, the government in place doesn't work, they don't know what they're doing, so you need to vote for us next time. Or they promised that and they didn't deliver. It's like holding the power in check. It's like showing the world what's going on, basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Because
And
it's not like to pass anything to have like deal guns or anything. It's just to talk it out
yeah,
to show their side. Okay. Okay. So
and right now the focus is on the guns, mainly because they want to prove how ineffective it is. And it looks bad because the guy in charge of the gun thing is the minister of security, and it's kind of hilarious. He's like that and he cannot secure the border and such. So it's a very bad look for the liberals right now. And if some of the swing voters see that, maybe they will swing into something else, and it's only part of what they are doing in Parliament. There are other stuff we will eventually cover, not today because we have a lot of coverage to do, but there are clips of committee, and yeah.
Can I ask you something real fast? What is that gold thing on the table? I'm just curious because looking at it, I don't know what that gold thing is. The gold on the end of the
It's
table?
the thing of the king.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. Okay. Thank you. You guys did stuff. I was just wondering. I could see that gold thing there. I was like, what does that
So the
represent?
idea
Yeah.
of the questions, Miss Sparkles, is this is what British Parliament, they are more akin and follow the, what is it, British Parliament rules, where like we have like a speaker, one group, or like you see like in Congress. So like these are like how, I guess, the public ceremonies. Or
and we can assist to this. And I think during my vacation week, I think I will spend a day in Ottawa to see that probably. But yeah, people can come in the gallery, what we call the gallery, and usually it's like in the, we don't see it right now, but it's like above the opposition. So that'd be on the left side. There's a balcony, and people can go witness it during the hour it is.
Yeah, it's like you can walk into your. It's like here in the U.S. You can.
Yeah.
As long as there's nothing and you're not unruly, you can sit and watch your lawmakers work. Now, the big thing like this is like, from what this allows them to present the ideas between voting and debating what goes on.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be
the debates are more like in committee. Committee, we will cover committee eventually, but
I thought I was asking this, but who is that guy, the main guy in the chair? What do you guys call them?
The speaker. So the speaker has many roles. The speaker in question period is the one that gives turn and that controls the discussion to make sure they respect time, because time-wise, I think they have between 30 seconds and like 50 seconds to ask question and 30 to 50 seconds to reply. So we have a lot of questions during that hour that we'll cover. Now, the other reason to have the speaker is when they have vote, but that's more like in committee. When they have votes and there's a tie, the speaker breaks it up and decide which way it goes.
Yeah.
But we don't really see that except in committee, and right now it's question period, so it's a bit different. But that's the role of the speaker, regulating the room and breaking ties.
The honourable leader of the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, is incredible. Only that minister who ruined the immigration system, the bruise in the housing market, could simultaneously repeat a promise while breaking it.
Right.
It was last week that the Liberal promise of another, yes, that's right, a Liberal promise is a prop.
You hear the streams, that's the gallery. That's the people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, okay.
The honourable member knows that he can't use props. Yeah. Okay, the honourable member has 15 seconds left, so we'll start the clock again.
Mr. Speaker, it was just last week that the minister's own department revealed that they are breaking their promise on 1,000 new border guards. They say they are not only have they not hired the 1,000, but they haven't even developed the plan to do so. That is the responsibility of the public safety minister. He's broken the promise. Will he be fired?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, on April the 28th, Canadians gave this government a mandate to do many things, including hiring a new 1,000 CBSA and 1,000 RCMP officers. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. It's obvious that the Leader of the Opposition doesn't understand the hiring process, nor the plan and the work that goes into hiring these 1,000 exceptional men and women who are going to serve this country. I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to welcome the leader back into the House, but also ask him, maybe this is time for him to take his security clearances so he can actually do his job properly.
So I must stress the security clearance. That's a boogeyman, and it's for the people that are misinformed and that don't really know what it is to just shit on the opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre. So the security clearance is basically a gag order. It's basically you cannot speak about some very sensitive intel. So it's basically an order that tells you, yeah, you cannot be honest and transparent with the people. And the reason why Pierre Poilievre didn't take it, well, there are several. First of all, he had one in the early 2000s when he was only a cabinet member, but they expire at some point. And the big reason why he doesn't take it is, first of all, he doesn't want to speak out on something and be jailed for it, because he can be jailed for it. And Pierre Poilievre has 2 kids, so he doesn't want to live 2 kids with only their mom, you know, and I think that's a big factor. And the second reason to not take it is if he is ever elected prime minister, if he gets some kind of intel, even if it's not through the security clearance program, he won't be able to share it because of that gag order. Even like someone comes to him and tell him, yeah, there's this shady thing going on, like they do import and export of substance in that port there. Because of that gag order, even if it's a citizen that comes to him and tell him, he cannot share that intel. So by not taking it, he can indeed share that intel. So what's going on? If there's a press conference and someone comes up to him and asks some very sensitive question because he didn't take that gag order, he can reply with transparency and honesty to the question. While if he had that security clearance, if he would be transparent, honest, and all, he could be jailed for it. So that's the big understanding. And they do that just to make it a shameful thing. And it's kind of hilarious that the Liberal weaponize it so much. When you really look into it, it's shady in itself, criticizing someone for his desire of transparency. It's something just doesn't feel right. But again, if you have a misinformed voter or someone that just spread what's told, they won't realize how stupid this feels. So yeah, that's how it is.
My cat's getting into something. I'll be right back.
So, but multi, this is also like it's like in the U.S. Like we have. So it was like, can't think of the guy's name. He was the Iraqi war General Petraeus. He was like going to be a major political politician for us potentially post the war, and he comes off. Years later, he semi-retired. He gave information in a book, and it turned out to be classified documents or sensitive information. He was sentenced to 1 year, like probation kind of thing. Now, you guys have a similar thing with this.
But ours is worst.
So here's like what it is. Like they deem... So U.S., right? People go, all documents get privated or it's sensitive information. Here, it's just, oh, you're not supposed to say that intel, but ignore that to half the Democrats that either leak or talk about stuff somewhere and it gets out anyways. But up there, they can weaponize that with information where you guys are, with that information is supposed to be secret. Like it's more like that's what makes it worse. But here you got to prove that you intentionally leak classified documents. Like but then again, aren't we? Then again, Petraeus is his case. He didn't realize it was classified.
Yeah.
So bear in mind what you see here. Now, I'm going to say honestly, in Canada, you guys are approaching which is in-stage liberalism right before you flip over to either a Marxist government or a socialistic government. Because in-stage liberalism is where, let's say, the hand's in a few and you scare tactic the other side. But bear in mind, he's like, oh, don't finger whack. But I will be honest, this guy, if anyone vetted half these officials, I would not put that guy before the public, because if he can barely take questioning from colleagues.
Yeah, imagine Mark Carney. Right now, Mark Carney is not in the house because he's globe-trotting all around the world to pretend he does his job, while he doesn't, because he doesn't come back with deals. But yeah, the Liberals are incompetent, and that's the point of Christian period.
The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, the Liberals' involvement in the legal challenge to Bill 21 is a constitutional power grab. That's clear from their speeches today. What we are hearing today is that what they're upset about goes beyond secularism. Their concern is that Quebec could use the with notwithstanding clause to pass laws that Ottawa disagrees with. So they want to weaken the clause, which is Quebec's only tool to avoid being subordinated to Ottawa and to its courts. They want to turn Ottawa into a superior government and Quebec into an inferior government. Will the Liberals withdraw from the challenge and put an end to this constitutional power grab? The Honourable Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, this shouldn't come as a surprise. We've had the same stance for several years now. When there are cases at the Supreme Court of Canada, we participate. As the member knows full well, the case is at the Supreme Court of Canada when a case makes it to the Supreme Court of Canada.
So basically, I will translate the jargon there. So the notwithstanding clause is a very specific rule that basically gives some kind of sovereignty and some kind of independence to each province from Ottawa. So it lets them have some kind of say to what's going on in their own courtyard if it doesn't impact the other province. And under Carney, he wants to take that away. So he wants to get more overall and more control over each single province. And this is what's going on, and that's really bad, because that means he could rewrite the charter in each province, which is bad. It's like saying Donald Trump now control each single state. That's very bad.
So the woman talking is translating for who? Who is she translating for? Is that what you said?
The MP. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So the MP that were speaking French, when they translate, it's because they speak French, and they translate it for the viewer to really understand what's been
Who's
said.
just speaking French though? That's what I get confused.
Yeah.
Like, do they randomly speak French, or are they not speaking it the whole time?
Sometimes they speak French, sometimes they speak English.
Oh,
when you
okay.
hear the translator, that's French. When you don't hear it, that's English. And you also get the French version of question period, and that's the reverse. So when they speak in French, there's no translator, but when they speak English, there are translators.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, let's play the last segment of Monday, because that was on Monday. I placed it at the right place. Oh, okay, that's not that far after that.
She's angry eyebrows.
Mr. Speaker, extortion cases have skyrocketed by 330%. This past Saturday night, my community was targeted by Bishnoi terrorists who carried out a shooting followed by an attempt to extort the victim. This gang is actively threatening innocent Canadians, causing fear in neighborhoods like mine. Yet, this minister has failed to label them as a terrorist organization. My question to the minister
of Public and Safety is simple. Will this minister resign or will the Prime Minister fire him today?
The Honorable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, it is the RCMP that first came out to expose the Bishnoi gang in this country as an organization that is actively working in our neighborhoods. It is a crime to extort Canadians. We will go after them. We've created a national task force to address this issue. Our national security experts are independently evaluating the listing of Bishnoi as a terrorist organization. I hope they will arrive at a decision soon so that we can continue to keep our community safe.
The Honourable Member for Hamilton Centre.
Mr. Speaker, Canada's new government has been elected on the promise to spend less, invest more, and make government more efficient.
Oh, that's the Liberal asking something to the
honest
other Liberal.
citizens who are hunters and sports shooters. The new Minister of Public Safety says privately that the famous gun buyback is a waste of money and the budget will skyrocket, but under pressure from the PM, he must hypocritically continue the program. The minister has no legitimacy. When will the Prime Minister fire him?
She's struggling now. I think she's getting tired or something.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank my colleague for his question. Canadians want to live in a safe environment, and for 35 years they know that assault-style weapons can cause massacres in Canada. It happened to me. It happened to other Canadian citizens in Portapique and across Canada. And what we're going to do today that starts in Cape Breton, and I'd like to thank the Cape Breton team that is starting this pilot project. We are going to remove these assault-style weapons from our streets to make our country a safer one. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Vancouver East.
The Liberal government abused their power one too many times by invoking Section 107 of the Labour Code as a backdoor to order striking workers back to work. They did it with rail, port, and postal workers. And they tried to do it with Air Canada flight attendants. QP National fought back and defied the back-to-work order. Trade unions across the country stood firmly on the side of flight attendants to say unpaid work don't fly. Will the minister respect the constitutional right of workers to free collective bargaining and repeal Section 107 of the Labour Code? Yes or no?
Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday I had the privilege and honour, along with Secretary of State of Labour, to meet with the Canadian building trades unions who are standing strongly with our government as we plan to build the strongest economy in the G7. We talked about the major projects that are going to provide great jobs for tradespeople, unionized tradespeople across this country, and the importance of having unionization in this country to protect a strong middle class. And Mr. Speaker, I will tell you that this government will always act quickly to support labor rights and to support industrial peace.
So basically what happened is Air Canada went on strike because some of the hours of the flight attendants were not paid. When the plane would not fly, they would still be required to do some work, and they would not be paid because the plane wasn't in the sky, which is really bad. And they were like, you know what? It's like something that was decided in the 70s or the 80s. We want some change. We are starving. We don't have enough money, and we want money. So they went on a strike. And by law, in the Charter of Law, we have the right to strike. But there's always something, a weapon the government can use against that. And they decided to use such weapon. And, well, they forced back the strike. But here's the thing. The strike was legit up to that point. And despite that, they still kept going. And the union leader in charge of that strike is now facing prison time.
Because of the strike, or?
Yeah, because of that strike. And he faces off huge fines as well. So it's a very bad train wreck for the Liberals and a very good one for a conservative like me. Because what's going on? The Liberal, they lost a lot of people by acting like that against the union. It doesn't look good. So a lot of the Liberal voter, because of that thing, they will fly back to the NDP, which is the party that asked the question yes or no we just had like a few minutes ago. And
Oh,
again,
flight attendants paid by the government, or what? I'm confused. Like, is that, or is it just
yes
like,
and no. Like Air Canada has been subsidized by the government.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's basically a private company, but it
Okay.
doesn't survive without government ends out.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so
Well, so the problem is, right, I think that's the same lady on another day. She asked the question about the mail mailing with, like, let's say a postal unions.
yeah,
Now, the idea you can, like, if something is subsidized, I'm sure they have a level of a control. Like when this is the lady, she's like talking about gun violence and then also about regulation. You
yeah,
can now the thing is unions, to be honest, if the question I think is eventually like if it's nationalized source, they do have that power. Now the big deal is the government, by the way, multi, and usually a government like what you have, it's like a clause in YouTube. They always have something to beat you over the head in a contract. But
yeah,
up there, the problem is they're approaching a line that is the reason why I say is this is what in-stage liberalism looks like. It's when you can use regulation or something. Just
yeah,
because you have a right to strike doesn't mean you cannot be punished.
yeah.
Now, the
I
thing,
mean, did they do anything wrong by going on strike?
No,
Is that
they
okay?
didn't do anything wrong, but
Okay.
the government hates when people don't listen to them, and this is what they do here
Okay.
in Canada because they're fascists. I said
I
it
wouldn't
again.
call them fascist. They're totalitarian. The
Yeah.
problem is what tested this was the trucker thing.
The honking.
They were able to use during the trucker protest. They were able to use the securities
The Emergency
the
Act.
emergency act,
But
which
it's funny because a year after the court itself deemed
the
it
court upheld it.
unconstitutional, they said it was a illegal use of it. So that was a
They also upheld it.
use of power.
No, they actually upheld it in a section.
I got to do a lady thing and say that these women are dressed horribly. These are hideous colors.
They are liberals. What do you think?
Like, it's just, I gotta say it.
So let's move on to Tuesday question period.
Leader of the opposition.
En libérant les criminels.
The Liberals are setting criminals free. They're wasting money. They are targeting sports shooters and recreational shooters who abide by the law. The Liberals have increased firearm-related crime by 30%. That we already knew. Yet the Minister of Public Safety accidentally revealed the truth and was recorded doing so. He said that confiscating the firearms of law-abiding firearm owners was a waste of money. Does the Prime Minister agree with his minister?
She tried.
Merci pour la question.
Thank you for the question.
Mr. Speaker, on Sunday I had a conversation with an individual that I've known for many years who recorded it
He doesn't
without my
speak
knowledge
French
and
right
had
now.
it leaked to a
That's
gun
a bad
lobbyist.
thing.
In
Because
that
the question
conversation,
is in
Mr.
French.
Speaker, the subject
Oh,
If
okay.
the question is in French, you need to reply in French.
Discussed.
Oh,
Because
really?
Trying
Okay.
to address,
That's not by
trying to
rule,
address
it's like a
this issue,
non-written
Mr.
rule.
Speaker, the individual's
And
frustration.
it's
Is
like,
it disrespect if you don't? If you answer?
yeah,
like,
well, you
Having said that,
disrespect
Mr.
the
Speaker, it's
voter
important to have,
because
Okay.
when
the
they
program
speak in
in
French,
place
it's
is
for
what
the
Canadians
Quebec
are looking
voter
for.
because
And I
we
do
are
wanna
the
know
one
that
that
the leader of the
asked them
opposition
to
has
speak
voted against
French.
every single gun
So
law.
if the question is in French, if you're smart, if you're clever, you will answer in French if you can.
By freeing
Oh, okay.
rampant gun criminals and wasting billions of dollars of police and border resources targeting law-abiding, licensed, trained, and tested firearms owners. This government has overseen a 130% increase in violent gun crime. But over the weekend, the Minister of Public Safety accidentally told the truth, and he was recorded doing it. He said that the gun grab is not worth the money, that it will go over budget, and it would be better just to lock up the criminals, but that they're going ahead with the bad policy because it's good politics. Does the Prime Minister agree?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, it's a good thing there's a recording of it so that Canadians can have a look for themselves. Let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker. Canadians want responsible gun control. They wanted it in 1989 after a man killed 14 women at École Polytechnique. They wanted it after 6 people were murdered at the Quebec City mosque shooting. And they wanted it after the biggest mass shooting in our history, where a man opened fire and killed 22 people in Nova Scotia. Mr. Speaker, why are the Conservatives against keeping guns off our streets?
I don't understand.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
That's called a
The
good
minister
gotcha.
said that his gun grab.
I know, but it just seems like such a non-issue. Without what I was reading about the gun stuff, it just doesn't make any sense.
As Conservatives have been suggesting, but that they're
The
going
Liberals,
ahead
they
with
don't
the
want
gun grab
guns.
anyway.
I know, but
because
you
the
guys
Prime
don't really have any
Minister wants
gun
to
violence or
pursue
anything. I don't
electoral
understand why.
politics.
It seems like there'd be something more
Electoral
important
politics, Mr.
to
Speaker.
discuss,
When a
is what
mother
I'm
is
trying
hit
to
with
get
a
at.
stray bullet,
And I
or
just
a
gotta say,
mother
this
is
guy that's
murdered
sitting
by
by
a
him, his
firearm,
face is
or a
like,
bullet
he always
flies
looks like
into
he has
a
like a
child's
deer in
bedroom
headlights. He has
as
the
part of an
craziest
extortion
expressions.
case.
Do you see him? Look at him, even with the paws.
Yeah.
Right
We
next
don't
to him.
have time for politics. So why is this minister caught on tape playing politics with guns?
So again, the idea here right now is to humiliate the government because they keep him around while he did something massive that's really bad. You shouldn't be caught like that on tape going against their own government.
So the constant lie, you see our Democrats use this as well in our states. They'll go, oh, you have all these guns and all this shooting, gun crimes. Let's do something about it. But up there, they're doing what was used in the U.S. to limit the size of clips and ammunition sold from state to
It
state.
seems like there'd be something more important for them to argue with each other about.
Well, you also got to realize half of their liberal policies come from an extended form of what is called harm reduction. Like catching and releasing criminals is part of harm reduction. Harm reduction is often used years ago. Oh, we are going to give drug addicts a safe place to be. Yeah, but except modern liberal.
So I will just replay the ending of that question. I like the twist on it. That's a funny one. And you were speaking over it, D-Lord, so that's funny.
Why is it that liberals only tell the truth when they don't think anyone is listening?
I mean, how he was recorded. I'm sorry. Did you tell me how he got recorded on accident? Like how that happened?
So the tenant he was having a discussion with decided to record it. But
so it was like it's personal, like they were together alone. They weren't like in front of people, or
yeah.
What
So
exactly
basically, Gary, the guy there, was speaking with his tenant about the gun grab because this tenant was a gun owner and he was asking questions and they had like a talk that lasted for like 20 to 30 minutes and the tenant recorded everything, but Gary didn't know it. So we have Gary being blunt and honest, and we have Pierre Poilievre was like, oh yeah, why do we need to have someone that's unaware that he's recorded for him to tell the truth?
I know, it's so dishonest too. I wouldn't even want him around. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, let me reiterate, it's actually a good thing that this conversation was caught on tape. And in fact, it will counter every single claim that this leader of the opposition is making.
More lies and
gaslighting.
gaslighting.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians want responsible gun control. We are in a position as a government, we committed to it during the last campaign, Mr. Speaker. Canadians gave us a mandate on April the 28th to ensure that we move forward on this program.
It wasn't a mandate election.
Implementation.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, while this government blocks criminal justice reforms that would lock up gun criminals, they want to go ahead and take nearly $1 billion away from border security and police officers to go after licensed, law-abiding, trained and tested hunters and sport shooters. A project that the OPP refuses to enforce. Numerous provincial governments have said they will not go ahead with. They've even had to ask Canada Post to go and collect these firearms. The minister himself has now admitted that it won't work. Why won't they drop the politics and save lives?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
See, both sides are playing politics.
Yeah, but no one's dying from guns in Canada. That's the thing. And he needs to get a better person to do his suits. His suits are way too small.
Across the aisle with us as we seek to table legislation during this legislative sitting to ensure that violent repeat offenders are kept behind bars, to make sure the most serious offenders are actually facing stiffer penalties. But Mr. Speaker, it is hard to accept criticism when it comes to keeping our community safe from gun violence from a member who for more than 2 decades has voted against the very specific measures that are designed to take guns off our streets, and he has voted repeatedly on the measures that will weaken our border to prevent the inflow of guns in the first place.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I and we have voted against policies that have given Canada a 130% increase in gun violence. And speaking of getting things through Parliament, he says seek to introduce. This government has been in place for 10 years. They have softened penalties for repeat offenders. That minister took the summer off and still has not introduced any criminal justice reforms to stop guns. We put forward a 3 strikes you're out law that would lock up the repeat violent offenders. Instead, they're spending $700 million of police resources going after licensed law-abiding people. Why?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Because they're liberals. Spend more money.
3 strike laws are pretty
Mr. Speaker, I have news for my
You really like that ugly pink color.
If he believes that I haven't moved forward with legislative efforts this sitting when it comes to criminal justice reform, I would have invited him to have shown up for work on Friday last week where we did that very thing. Mr. Speaker, he should look forward this fall sitting to seeing 2 additional pieces of criminal legislative reform. One on bail and sentencing that will make sure violent repeat offenders are not walking amongst our streets, and a second that will protect those who are at risk of intimate partner violence or risk of being victimized by sexual offenses. And when it comes to the summer, I was meeting with law enforcement and provincial counterparts. He was fighting for his job.
See, he wants to put forth what is
As the member knows, we cannot suggest
therefore, they
that
create
somebody
a problem, so they have to solve it.
Yeah.
There's
was present
there's an end stage
or not in the House. I'm assuming he meant it in a very vague way that
he has a sweet little face. I don't know what it is.
I don't know, something else. But I'll just give that warning to the member. L'honorable député de Saint-Jean.
The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, with its factum to the Supreme Court against Bill 21, Ottawa is basically bordering on conspiracy theory. By challenging state secularism, the Liberals are creating a slippery slope towards disaster scenarios such as banning places of worship. The Liberals even suggest that Quebec might reinstate slavery or executions. This speaks volumes about how Canadians view Quebec, Mr. Speaker. They say, don't give them too much parliamentary sovereignty. They're crazy enough to reestablish slavery. If the government wanted to tarnish Quebecers' reputation, it couldn't have done so better than through this factum. Will the government withdraw it? The Honourable Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, we are working towards the national interest. This matter is in the national interest, so the federal government must protect the Constitution. As the member knows full well, the Supreme Court of Canada is absolutely the right forum for this type of debate. The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, the federal government is attacking much more than secularism at the Supreme Court. They are also attacking Quebec's parliamentary sovereignty by amending the Constitution through the courts without debate. This is a power grab which goes against the purpose itself of the notwithstanding clause, which is to protect democracy from judiciary governance. If the federal government wants to amend the Constitution, that should be debated in our parliaments and in the public space, not in court. Will the government withdraw its brief and stop using judges to undermine Quebec's parliamentary sovereignty? The Honourable Minister of Identity and Canadian Culture. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With all due respect to my colleague, what she's saying is misinformed. The federal government's representations to the Supreme Court will not prevent provinces and territories from continuing to be able to use Section 33 of the Charter and using the notwithstanding clause. the Minister of Justice is sitting right next to me and would be happy to explain to her what we are suggesting as a process. We will always defend the rights and freedoms of Canadians.
I wonder how much the translator gets paid. She gets paid quite a bit.
So
She's like,
the
"Stop
issue
this hour."
itself, right, is how much of whatever
Well, Multi was gonna talk first.
Yeah. So D-Lord, shut up. So what I wanted to say, is they keep mentioning that they're the party of the Charter of Rights, while they keep infringing on it by adding new really dangerous laws like C9, C63, and also they're the ones that wanted to jail some protesters. Hell yeah, this the party of the freedom, right? Right, the
No,
Charter.
government. The problem with a government like they've been doing is if you actually are in power long enough, you just tighten the reins, and the next people who come in use it or abuse it. Let's say in the U.S., like with Democrats and especially a lot of the liberals and progressives we have issues with, they're all constitutional law attorneys and they understand it. No one ever doubts, like where you guys are, you can say you have a charter, but I guarantee you somewhere in the law, they've had some wiggle room that you never knew existed. Unlike our Constitution, which is a basic document that's been around, and then all laws are either designed around it. You up there have a federal government, which is more like your other, that regulates. Now, they've just been tuning these laws and putting them in place. You didn't realize your charter was long gone. Now, I will say, I predicted when the trucker thing happened and didn't go through, that was the last gasp of freedom for Canada. I said that because that was the tipping point right before you start. And what you're seeing with the C9, they're trying to tighten it to the point that they can centralize power. The more they centralize power, the more the people at the top can gain control. Now, Multi, you don't want to get into the idea of how much the WEF has influence in Canada.
I know, dude. Trudeau is one of the chairmen of that.
There's been more than that.
Carney was part of it as well. That's disgusting. And there's a young black chick, like 25 years old, that got lucky. That's one of the proud symbol of WEF. So yeah, WEF is disgusting.
You've had that policy.
WEF?
World Economic Forum.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a group of rich elitists that want to rewrite democracies into like some kind of modern aristocracies with like the elites, the rich that are in power, and the people that are the peasants. Basically, that's the WEF in a nutshell, and they are discussing.
Okay.
The UK has a WEF plant in charge. Karen Seymour. He is a WEF guy.
WEF is basically meant to.
That's why they lost all freedom there.
You know that hair extensions you glue in your hair for Amanda Blackman are called WEFs too, just saying.
No, so WEF basically is an organization that's just a movement that operates at a higher level. In theory, it is meant to. It's an advisory group, but there's more to them. The thing is,
they are monsters. I hate them so much.
No, they're bad.
They all belong in jail, but
but they've been influencing people for a while. They're meant to counteract the Belt and Road Initiative initially, but it's just turned out over the years they're becoming as bad as the Belt and Road Initiative is what the Chinese have been trying to implement to get resources and power worldwide.
Yeah.
Where they influence nations themselves. But no, like when I say the idea of a lot of people is there's a lot of initiatives and in-stage liberalism. It's happening in Canada. You're seeing it. The food line, the bread lines.
It's getting worse and worse, but now it's time to play one of the last few questions. Hopefully I start at the right place right now.
And saves over 300,000 liters of diesel a year. And Nunavut, the Inuit-led Sani-Kuluak wind project.
That's under liberal, so it's most likely all lies, because this is what they do. The liberals, they like to lie. They like it so much.
The Honorable
She's so proud of herself. Look at her.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go back to last Friday's question. The Liberal government announced it's building 4,000 new homes at the cost of $13 billion. That's $3.2 million per door. With $3.2 million in boasts, we could build 15 homes, not one. With we could build more than 4,000, and with 13,000, we could build 20,000 homes, not 4,000. The math doesn't add up.
That don't
Liberals,
math.
it always costs more and more and more.
Housing and infrastructure.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this question.
The Conservatives are already getting the math wrong. And we need to set this straight. Build Canada Homes will have $13 billion to invest in affordable housing across the country. We have a number of projects to launch that with, 4,000 homes in 6 cities across the country, 700 homes
This
in
was
Nunavut,
proven
as I
a lie
mentioned
during
earlier,
that
and
last
$1 billion into
emergency
supportive
election.
transitional housing. That'll be
Because they said they built all these homes, but they haven't. But here, how do you build more homes, enough homes, when you don't? You're going to be under.
And I will pause here. The guy that just spoke, the liberal guy, it's hilarious because he was the mayor in Vancouver, where by the time the housing market crashed and exploded, and all of the prices went so high, it's unaffordable anymore. And guess what? He got promoted because now he's the housing minister. The weight fell upward. You burn to the ground, Vancouver, and then you be the guy in charge. You become the guy in charge of housing across the country. This is the liberal way, folks. Crash the housing market, and you will become housing minister. Hilarious. Insulting.
Scaling upwards is not unique to just any country. It's pretty much used largely by
liberals.
Yes, they technically unless the person, they quietly retire them to a home and either shoot them or just shuffle the decks. Up there is like, there's people in U.S. politics which they shouldn't be anywhere near power, but they don't really fail upwards as much as they're just move the deck chairs of the Titanic, so to speak. They'll just be moved to a position or somewhere.
The Honourable Member for Winnipeg Centre.
Mr. Speaker, this weekend, thousands of people across Canada joined Draw the Line protests to send the Prime Minister a very clear message. Enough is enough. Why? Because the Prime Minister and Cabinet are pushing through legislation and measures violating the rights of workers, violating the rights of Indigenous peoples.
The Party of Charter of Rights, folks.
While undermining gender equality, civil liberties, disability justice, and environmental protection. So my question through you, Mr. Speaker, is why is the Liberal government bulldozing over our Constitution to fast-track their corporate agenda?
Because they're liberals.
I'm not sure what the question is in all of that. But what I can say is this government was elected, Mr. Speaker,
It's Greek boy.
to focus on Canadians, to be pragmatic, to stand up for Canada, to make sure people had great jobs, to make sure that Canadians can count on their government when things are tough. And that's exactly what we're doing day in and day out, Mr. Speaker. We're focused on what Canadians need, what they're telling us they want to invest in. We've got an ambitious plan, Mr. Speaker, and we're acting on it.
Patty, what's up with that last name? What's that last name?
I don't know.
That is all the time we have for question period today.
So let's go into Wednesday question period.
See, here's the problem. To move your economy up
God, they like that
better in the G7, you would have to increase your GDP as
By
well
too
as
much.
have the chance to be whatever. Now, it just is not saying without. I mean, granted, it might as well be the G6 at this point.
We are no longer in the G7.
Basically, I'm not making this. So, like, Russia had a fault. Like, Russia, you could arguably say was originally the G8 kind of thing, and there's like other.
Echoing a little bit.
So the inherent problem is an in-stage liberalism. They can't manage their economy. In the U.S., we're not here yet. We're close in parts, like Oregon and states, parts of California. We're already here. But we don't have the food crisis or the thing is we don't have the federal infrastructure that would allow to the decay like you have. We have regional decay, which in turn, it's like, okay, you say in Canada, your GDP is less than the earnings of the poorest person in Mississippi.
That's true.
And that was a big change and a difference in 10 years. You can't have an increase in housing market.
But D-Lord, you see, the liberals, they like to lie, and that's their slogan of campaign. That's why they repeat it. With that being said, let's play Wednesday question periods. We are lucky enough we will see Carney getting humiliated.
The Liberals have increased firearm crime, by 136%. They waste money. They're going after hunters and farmers. Meanwhile, they're taking money away from border and police services. Through all this, they've caused this crime wave. The public safety minister admitted that it's not working, the program won't work, but it's for electoralist reasons.
The minister has admitted that going after farmers and hunters rifles is not going to fight crime. So the only reason to do this is politics. He was telling the truth, then why not reverse? If not, why isn't he fired?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the gun registry, what the government is doing with the gun registry is putting in place a much more efficient way, for Canadians to voluntarily return prohibited firearms.
Or they end up in jail.
Return prohibited
So,
firearms
more lies.
for fair compensation. This government is going to do it right.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
But his own Minister of Public Safety says this government is doing it wrong. He was caught on tape saying the program won't work, and yet they are going to rip $750 million away from our border and police services to harass duck hunters and farmers by banning the firearms they use. This approach has led to a 130% increase in gun crime under the Liberals' watch. The police say they won't implement it. The minister says it's a bad idea, but they're only doing it for political reasons. Why is the Prime Minister putting lives at risk for politics?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't even know where to begin with that.
That's right. He has no answer.
I don't know where to begin.
Because he doesn't want to.
All the misrepresentations in that intervention. The person who's putting lives at risk is the leader of the opposition who's voted against every single piece of gun legislation. What the Minister of Public Safety is doing it right. He's correcting an inefficient system to provide Canadians with fair...
How is turning in the guns fixing anything though? Like, you gotta get people that are willing to turn in their guns, and like, I don't think killers or mass killer, like people are gonna go kill that are like gonna go do mass killings or whatever, are gonna turn in their guns. I don't understand. It would just be good people who turn in their guns, right?
Liberals, yeah, you're right. I agree with you. Again, it's deeply flawed, and it's to point out the hypocrisy, the stupidity behind the government.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, man. It seems so dumb.
See, Carney
It
can
is
win
stupid.
easily.
That's the point.
Yeah,
Carney can win on this point though. With look, you can keep hammering home. Look, the lie in the U.S. Again, liberal people are gonna say, "Think of the children and think of the public." That's what assault weapons are.
And it's funny because the liberals don't even have kids anymore, and they
no,
still
okay,
don't
so
shove the
conservatives
kids.
will he's trotting out the line, which is easily debunkable by their side.
Yeah.
This is why this argument is never
Even
been
their minister did debunk it.
No, this is no multi. In the U.S., if you go to someone, you ask a responsible gun owner, "Do you need a 50 caliber sniper rifle to hunt deer?" They'll look at you stupid and go, "No." And the thing is, he can phrase it as that. And where Carney actually has a good thing with misinformation, he should not have phrased it where to say, Julio phrased it where you could poke a hole and drive a semi through his point publicly, because he is equating the legislation is going to go after the farmers, not the assault rifles. What you should have a clarification is this can lead to that, not be the start point where they're going. Because there's a difference between a farmer wanting a rifle to take down a bear or something than a person who wants an assault rifle or a semi-automatic.
Yeah. And now let's address the comment. Maybe there are some more lefty people there. I will attest to this, Indirect Solar. So Canada has been very left-leaning throughout history. To give you an idea, in the last 30 years, we had 21 years of liberals and 9 years of conservative. And yeah, that's what's going on. And to give you another idea, we have 5 big parties in the House of Commons, and 4 of these 5 parties are left-leaning. That's to give you an idea. So even if we ever get a conservative government, if it's not a majority, we will most likely waste our time.
So I asked what was the highest thing, what crime was the highest in Quebec, Canada, and it's shoplifting. It's shoplifting, and it said that your guys' violent crime is so low. So I don't understand this gun thing. I kick it over, and it said vandalism is the second one, and then it said online scams. So it's not even like, I don't understand. Like, violent crime is so low.
Again, it's to divert attention elsewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, okay, perfect. Well, this is what's going on. We are a very left-leaning country. It's kind of sad. Now, they mess up so hard with this current government. The current government has almost as many scandals as Trudeau government that lasted 10 years, but now it's been like 6 months they are in power, so it looks really bad and grim. And that's the last straw. I think in the next election, if we have a good campaign, the Conservative will actually win. And there's high chances they will be in power for at least 6 to 10 years. Hopefully, finger crossed, it will happen. And we can throw out these fascists. Because this is what they are, the liberals. They push censorship, and they are crazy. So, yeah, let's play more of that.
The honorable leader of the opposition.
His suit, I don't know, he makes him attractive. A man in a nice suit is like,
I voted against the
I'd smash,
reducing criminal sentences for those who use guns to commit extortion, to commit robbery, and to commit other serious offenses, while voting in favor
oh gosh, dang it.
of locking up criminals who use guns in the commission of crime. The police say that 90% of crime is done with guns that come illegally over the broken Liberal border. The Liberal public safety minister admits that the Prime Minister is only playing politics. Will the Prime Minister stop the politics, fire the minister, and leave Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle alone?
Grandpa Joe rifle alone.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, I will have too little time to address all the issues, but let me go back to something the Leader of the Opposition said, which he described farmers, hunters using AR-15s to hunt. I don't see that. I don't see that in my great province of Alberta. I also know that what the Minister of Public Safety and this government are doing is tightening the border. Bill C-2 will the opposition stand up and support the tightening of the border.
So there are two things I will say to Carney's response. He says he's from Alberta. This is true. But another true thing about Mark Carney, he's been all around the world. He has 3 passports, and he didn't live in Canada for the last 10-ish years. He's always somewhere else. His wife is in New York, I believe, and his kid, it's a they them. I don't know exactly. That they them is in the UK somewhere, while he is here in Canada. So yes, he speaks about Alberta because he's born there, but let's be honest, he spent much more time elsewhere because he doesn't give a crap about Canada, and yet we elected that clown. Now the other thing, he mentioned Bill C-2, and it's filled of other fascist idea because C-2 at the surface level, it's basically a law that tightens the border, that makes it more complicated to cross the border and to seize things coming out from the U.S. or whatever the country tries to get in. That's great, right? But they also added things that infringe on rights, like the rights of privacy, because that bill takes away the need of warrant to seize package, and it takes away the warrant to spy on the people that are already living here in Canada. So it's more than just tightens the border, but they sell it that it's just a border bill because they know people won't really look deep into the 30 article, and like that C2 bill is like 140 pages. And among these 140 pages, there's a lot of very dangerous things where you can also criminalize cash because they don't want cash anymore. They want to control your money. And yeah, exactly. They Carney is just like Starmer. He wants the digital ID bullshit. It's the exact same. But yeah, Carney tried to push for that. We are not there. He has a very strong opposition. That's the difference between us and the UK. But for how long, I don't know. And again, the Conservatives are very smart. And I think every party see the danger, I should say, for that Bill C2. Because that bill is nefarious. And again, if you trim all of the bad, that bill would have passed, but there's just so much authoritarian style laws in that law that it doesn't pass as of right now, and it's a good thing. So again, they promote C2 as a key and answer to everything, but it actually creates a lot of privacy issues. A warrant is important. We have rights here in Canada, but they want to override it. No warrant, we want to seize you. That's disgusting. So yeah, that's the liberals. That's why I reread it as the fascist group, the fascist party.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And there, the Prime Minister just admitted that he doesn't even know what his gun ban applies to. That's right. For example, this gun ban applies to 10 and 12 gauge shotguns, which are used by the great people of Alberta and all Canadians for duck hunting. It applies to 70 .22 caliber firearms that are used by almost every farmer to go after gophers. will the Prime Minister stop wasting money banning gopher guns, read his briefing notes
What's
so
a
that he knows
gopher
what
gun?
he's talking about, and fire that incompetent minister?
What?
What's a gopher gun?
Gopher gun. That's I think that's a smaller title for gun grab.
No,
Oh,
like what he's talking about is this potentially implies. So let's say, well, fun fact. So Alaska has, if you ever go into the wilderness, you are required, all bush pilots, and I'm sure the same's in Canada, you're required to carry a gun that can take out a bear or other wildlife in case you crash.
Okay.
Now, in Canada, you have variant, like, so let's say you got a deer gun, you got a boar gun, and you got like other stuff that's used to kill things. Let's say you're a farmer, you're attacking, something attacks your livestock. You need to kill a wolf. You have something for that.
I just noticed a question from chat here. What Alberta is like the Texas of Canada? That's true. That's the most conservative province in Canada. Unfortunately, they don't have that much seats in Parliament. That's very unfortunate. But like, if you go in Alberta, I think they have like 37 seats, and 36 of the 37 are conservative, and the one seat they don't have is like Liberal seat. But that's Alberta for you. So yeah, it is the Texas of Canada. Now, it would be a smaller caliber gun meant to take out smaller animals like gopher, I guess. Yeah. What's that scepter thing on the table? It's the scepter of the king, because when the king comes, and it's very rare because it's costly a lot, but Carney liked his show, so he brought the king here, and the king sit on the throne with that scepter. That's only a remnants of like, because we are still a British colony. I don't know if we can call that this way now, but technically speaking, we are still under the British. Even if we have a lot of sovereignty, we are still under the British. In theory.
In tyranny.
In tyranny, yeah, in tyranny, exactly, in tyranny. But yeah, in tyranny, you're right.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker.
The comment, I don't know if you heard that comment, but someone in the gallery was like, I hope you know more about banking than guns. That's someone in the gallery. That's like a citizen that just went there to witness that. And
Goodness.
Because he was a banker. Oh,
Yeah, I remember that. I read about him being a banker. Yeah.
And it's funny because it's the second time I watched the question period, but I didn't notice that the first time. I didn't get it, but now I got it. Wow! It's a bloodbath.
He was bad during his thing, right? When he was a banker.
Was really bad.
Yeah, that's what I remember reading. Yeah.
He made the rich even richer, and everyone that's like middle class or lower went under.
And was he not even a banker that long? The banker.
Yeah, I was like a banker for like 2-3 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah.
Hilarious. Let's move on.
What this government is doing is providing fair compensation for Canadians to return illegal firearms, illegal assault rifles, and what this government is doing is proposing the biggest tightening of our border in our nation's history. We want the support of the opposition to make sure that happens.
That's a very good point. The Right Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And he has absolutely no idea what guns he's banning, Mr. Speaker. He's banning 22s. These are known as farmers' guns to go after gophers and other pests. One of them is even called the plinkster, because that's the sound it makes when it bounces off a pop can. The Prime Minister is wasting precious border and police resources, harassing farmers, banning duck hunters, when real gun crime rages in our streets. Once again, will he pick up a briefing note so that he knows what he's talking about and go after the real criminals?
Again, this to make Carney look bad.
The right honorable Prime Minister.
Mr.
What is this?
I didn't quite catch it. I only understood cabinet, so I can only guess. I will rewind.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr.
Oh, okay.
Mr.
So he asked for the cabinet member. Why is it still there? So even the people in the gallery, they're like, "Fire Gary!"
They're burning him. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition has his briefing notes. The RCMP has their experience. The RCMP vets this list, decides this list, what are real guns and what are assault rifles, what should be kept off the streets. That is the process, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's knowledge bank on this subject is now depleted, so we'll move on to something else. The subject of food prices. Prime Minister said that he would be judged on the prices at the grocery store. Well, the verdict is in. Food prices are rising 50% faster in Canada than in the U.S., almost double the Bank of Canada's target. The Daily Bread says there will be 4 million visitors to Toronto food banks, a doubling over 2 years ago. And yet the Prime Minister has 3 grocery taxes in place and going up while people line up
This
at
is
food
where
banks.
they are strong.
Will he stop taxing food so Canadians can afford to
The gun
eat?
thing is kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
But the food thing is where they really have it with their taxes.
Mr. Speaker, let me bring the Leader of the Opposition up to speed on taxes. This government cut taxes for 22 million Canadians. This government cut taxes on first-time home buyers. This government cut the carbon tax.
So I will say this. There are several things to mention. Number one, you were asking why so much focus on the guns.
Mm-hmm.
They really want to throw Gary under the bus. They really want to get a win and make so bad the situation for Gary that they're forced into firing him. And if they really end up firing Gary, that will be a win for the Conservative because they're championing it. That's why they had so much focus on the gun thing, because it's the thing that really makes the cabinet look really, really bad. And even now, mainstream media, which is shocking, they even asked for Gary to be fired. So, like, everyone is asking him to be fired. And if they keep Gary in charge, we may end up with other situations like that first. And second, it also proved the people right when they say they don't listen to the people, because the people are asking for Gary Ed, and Gary Ed didn't fall. So it's a win-win for the Conservative, because if they go along, that's a win for the Conservative. If they don't go along, then it's proof the Liberals don't listen to people. Now, the other thing, they say, oh, we cut the tax on we cut the tax on people. The maximum tax break you get is $650 a year at the highest bracket. That's not really great. You know, it's better than nothing, but $650 at the highest bracket. At the lowest bracket, it's $250. So tax break, yeah, sure. It only for the looks, you know. And first home buyer, you need to buy a certain amount for your house, otherwise you don't access that tax break. So it's a fake tax break. Now, the third thing he's proud of, we cut the carbon tax. After the Conservative ran a campaign on cutting the carbon tax that the Liberal placed. So the Liberals, they did place themselves that carbon tax, and now they are proud that they removed it. Congrats. Also, that's a Conservative win because they hammered it at home, and they were proved right because they were like, that carbon tax only made people poor, and cutting it made lots of saving. people are now saving more money. And yet for years, Carney and Trudeau, they were like, it's a good thing. We will make money with that carbon tax, and it's a good thing for the people. Yeah, sure. They caught it, and now we got more money in our pocket. Sure. So it's really bad lies, and it's disgusting. But what can we expect from the liberals? What can we expect?
The Honourable. The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister will, of course, have read his government's factum filed with the Supreme Court of Canada against state secularism in Quebec in the context of the notwithstanding clause. He will have read it, surely, and his Attorney General signed it. This Prime Minister solemnly swore that he would help Quebecers. He asked for their support. It suggested in the factum that we might use the clause to bring back slavery or take away women's rights, take away their vote. Does the Prime Minister believe any of that? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, what protects Canadians and Quebecers, men and women, young people and older people? What protects us all is the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It is the Government of Canada's responsibility to defend the Charter.
It's hilarious. Again, they mentioned the Charter and they broke it like a month ago with Air Canada fiasco, and they broke it with the truckers. So it's hilarious. And they also want to break it with C9, the law we talked about with censorship and lifetime in prison for speaking out against the government. As of that comment, at least I know it's dubbing. So basically, because I think you were not around early in the stream, but basically what I was telling Miss Sparkle, when they translate, it's because they speak in French. Because in Parliament, they speak both French and English. And because now we are watching the CPAC in English, well, what's said in French is translated. And the idea is Quebecer, they like when we speak French. And the idea of question period is for the voter to see what the government policies are, to see how the opposition oppose the government and how they question them. So it's really the moment to shine, to see your MP trying to tear apart the other side. So that's the idea. So let's play the ending of that QP. QP. Hopefully it's the right place. Is it?
Yeah. And now we have one of the highest markets in which to buy a home.
I think I went on too early.
Truth and reconciliation. Can the Minister of Indigenous...
We will skip that liberal praising the liberals.
Liberal government has not posted a public update in over a month. Canadians want to know, why did the Liberal ministers not work with the agriculture sector to resolve this issue?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to make sure that this member knows that I am working very closely with the Minister of Agriculture, and the case is now in front of the court, so I won't comment more. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Vancouver East.
The NDP fought tooth and nail for the $4 billion investment in the for Indigenous, by Indigenous, urban, rural, and northern housing strategy. Yet 2 years later, the money still has not flowed. Shovel-ready projects are stalled while the housing crisis for Indigenous, Inuit, and Métis people continue to escalate. In creating Building Canada Homes, the Prime Minister is admitting that CMHC is ill-equipped to deliver the much-needed affordable homes that Canadians need. Will the Prime Minister let Indigenous services take over so that they can do what is necessary for Indigenous-led housing providers access to funds to build the homes that the community desperately need?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister for Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your home is where
Go ahead, please.
you should feel the safest. And many Indigenous people live in housing that is overcrowded, contaminated, and affordable. But this new Build Better Homes Canada is going to finance Indigenous housing providers to grow affordable housing in community while catalyzing capital for a revolutionary approach to home building in community at a space that we've never seen in the darkest decade of government, the Conservative era.
It's funny how they bring back the Conservative era that's like 10 years ago.
No.
I wish to draw the attention of members to the presence in the
QP
gallery.
is over, so we will move on to the next QP.
Oral questions, questions orales, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
With another pointless and costly trip, the Prime Minister is fleeing scandal, inflation, and crime, and problems related to the Public Safety Minister here at home. Mr. Speaker, this minister has lost track of 600 criminals here in Canada. He broke the promise to hire 1,000 CBSA officers and admits that the program to hassle farmers and hunters will not help Canadians. When will the Prime Minister start protecting Canadian lives and fire that minister? The Honourable Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the leader for his question. Yes, indeed, the Prime Minister is traveling around the world to build a strong economy. And yes, this government will come up with a generational program to build Canada, a budget to grow Canada, to create jobs all across Canada. Instead of criticizing, the Conservative leader should stand up and congratulate the Prime Minister, who is building relations, building a stronger country, and that is what we are doing on this side of the House, is building a future for Canadians. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Another costly and useless photo op tour to escape the inflation, criminality, housing price crisis, and of course the scandal around his public safety minister. That minister who lost track of 600 foreign criminals on our streets, broke the Liberal promise to hire 1,000 new border guards, and was caught on tape admitting that the Liberal plan to harass farmers and duck hunters has nothing to do with saving lives and everything to do with preserving the Prime Minister's political fortunes. Will the Prime Minister put Canadian lives first and fire this minister?
Honourable Minister of Finance.
Speaker, it's another day, but it's the same old Conservative, Mr. Speaker. On this side of the House,
that's funny coming from a Liberal that's been there for 10 years.
Budget that's going to build this nation, Mr. Speaker. It's going to be a generational investment in our future. We're going to build a country. We're going to build jobs. We're going to create the opportunities for young people in this country. We're going to build the strongest economy in the G7, and we hope the Conservative will vote for this budget because it's about building our nation, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
My mother and people like her actually built this nation, and today is my mom's birthday. Thank you. And it reminded me that even when my school teacher parents were struggling, we always had delicious, nutritious meals, meat and potatoes on our plate, and we had to eat all the broccoli. But when I called her today for her birthday wishes, she said grocery prices are terrible. I didn't have the heart to tell her, Mr. Speaker, that the Prime Minister's bait and switch is the culprit. Will the Prime Minister give my mother the ultimate birthday gift and end all Liberal taxes on groceries?
The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
I wish the member opposite's mother a happy birthday. But I'm also very sad to tell her that her son voted against the school nutrition program.
What?
I think she'd be really disappointed because when I was there and I spoke to teachers and volunteers and met with students, they talked about how this healthy nutrition break for their students helped those students reach the goal of careers like architect, teacher, engineer, tradesperson.
So basically, what's going on in the House, not in question period, but in the House in general, the opposition and the government, they talk about laws, they talk about project, they allocate money, and everything must be voted for. And basically, the Liberal, a lot of their stakes is let's tax the people so much, but we will give them back a bit by giving some food bank and such thing, and like breakfast at school and that kind of program. And most of the time the conservatives, the way they think is you will tax people for that, and we want to cut the tax, therefore we will not vote for these breakfast at school things, because it's not the conservative thing to do. The conservative idea is the family should have more money so they can pay for themselves, and the Liberal idea is here's an handout, here's welfare, the taxpayer will pay for it, but who cares? It's not you, it's not me, it's the taxpayer, you know. It's their approach, and it's very different, and that's the Liberal approach that's kind of failing right now, because they've been in power for 10 years and food banks are skyrocketing, as everyone says, because there's too many tax. It's Canada after all. And I don't know if you were there around when we said that. I don't think so, but let's mention it right now. In Canada, 40% of the money is spent on taxes. Yes, I said it. It's a crazy number. And,
that is crazy.
And you have a housing crisis with houses. People cannot afford rent. They cannot afford food.
That's yeah.
And then they are proud of like, look at that breakfast at school. Yeah, sure. You robbed us, and then you were proud of giving us back something amazing.
Sorry, that's stupid.
That's true. You can laugh. I laugh as well, but I laugh of sadness because I know.
I'm sorry. I feel bad.
That's fine.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, my mother, as a substitute teacher, sometimes taught math, and she would not be happy with the Parliamentary Budget Officer's report today, Mr. Speaker.
Is that a spam bot?
That this Prime Minister is more expensive than even
it.
Justin Trudeau. The PBO reports that the deficit is now 2/3 higher than the one Trudeau left behind. Over the next 5 years, this Prime Minister will add an amazing $300 billion of additional inflationary debt, twice what Trudeau would have added, all of which will add to the cost of living for Canadians. Why is it? How is it possible that any Prime Minister could have been more expensive than Trudeau?
And Trudeau was known to have like speeches like the budget will balance itself.
Wishing the mother of the Leader of the Opposition happy birthday. And I'm sure that she's looking at the TV today, Mr. Speaker. Question. I have good news for his mother, Mr. Speaker.
His
we
name.
cut our taxes, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, I know.
That's a crazy name.
I don't know his mother, Mr. Speaker, but I know in her heart she must be proud of this Liberal government.
It is very much a
fighting for families, that we're going to build the country of the
hilarious, but it's also.
Let's celebrate, Mr. Speaker.
I'm going to thank your mother.
I know. They keep mentioning his mom's birthday.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
It's formal
Mr. Speaker, I can
because
confirm
they don't
he
want to look
definitely
like
does not know my
assholes.
mother. In fact, my mother knew how to budget better than anyone. She could stretch a dollar farther.
I'm picking his mom right now, though.
Here is the finance.
That's funny.
Well, I will explain after why they did that, or why I think they
We
did
sure
that.
wouldn't have a PBO report showing the government adding $1/3 of $1 trillion of extra deficits. We know that every single dollar this Prime Minister spends comes out of the pockets of hard-working Canadians. Why don't they know that?
Okay. My cat's been bad. I'll be back.
Jobs and families.
Keeping on the theme of mothers, one thing I know about mothers is that every mother is certain that no child should go hungry. And so it is particularly disappointing to see the members opposite, many of them who I know are mothers as well, voting against the school nutrition program that is making sure that no matter a kid's circumstance, they've got the nutrition to learn and grow. Mr. Speaker,
Shit was a scam in the United States for the longest time.
So
Michelle Obama tried to push that forever.
Yeah. So I will say this about the mother thing. Pierre Poilievre was known as the mean guy, the angry, the mini Trump and such. And him bringing up his mother, I think, was a way to humanize him and to show to show everyone, I'm just like you. I have a mother and I'm not always mean. I am a loving son that remembers his mother. And I think that was the idea. So it was a way to push back against the narrative and control the new narrative and say, look, this is what I am. And it was also maybe to make the liberals look bad because, again, you have seen it yourself. You have heard it yourself. The liberals, every liberal that spoke weaponized that mother against him. And it doesn't really look good. When you look at it, I'm sure if a mother and if Sparkle comes back, maybe she will test and approve what I say. But I feel like as a parent, hearing someone criticizing your kid, you won't like it. I know my grandma, if someone criticizes me, she won't like it. So yeah, again, a lot of the voters of the liberals are boomers, and they have kids. Some of them, at least, and they won't like it. So again, that's a win-win where you humanize more Pierre Poilievre, and you make the liberals look bad by criticizing you, using your mom or whatever. So I guess Sparkle is still awake, so we will play more.
It's not a good way. Like, I could probably see that it's a good bait. Maybe it makes okay. So
and they took the bait.
So here's the thing: if you want to make stuff like look at a viral clip and say, "Oh, I can just do it," it's like the Gary guy said something really stupid that could be weaponized.
Yeah.
Those people, like when I saw that, I was like chuckling at the same time. I'm like, but it's also painful.
Like, so I will tell you this, D Lord, and I think I mentioned it in the past. If I didn't, well, that's the first time. But I feel like the liberals are great when it comes to doing a campaign. They are far better than the conservatives. That's why they are elected. But here's the catch. Here's the thing. When it comes to politics on the field, when they are in that house, when they have diplomacy, and when they need to deal with other countries or other representative of the people, well, this is where they fall short. They suck at it. They have no diplomacy. That's why our trade relation with the States has gotten worse. They are really bad at politics. That's why we have so many scandal and people are not fired. They just suck at doing politics. They are good at campaigning, but they don't know how to move things around.
Governance is different than if the general liberal problem, or let's say even in the U.S. we see with more of the progressive liberals. Okay, so let's solve problem A. Let's solve this problem. I need to create this solution to solve this issue. Okay. Another problem arises from the previous solution that they had, previous issue they had, is sometimes. Well, so you got to solve hate. Now you got to solve like various forms of bigotry and other things. When you're down the road about 5 or 6 steps like this, we can't say words anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like a problem that you see how the solution that they make doesn't entirely solve the issue, but it can create an issue down the line. Because, we need to solve issues with, like in the U.S., we're literally at the point where we're not at end-stage liberalism. Certain parts of the nation are. To solve, like, oppression? You got to solve oppression. You need to be, like, cause oppression. Or you need to solve that sexism and bigotry. You need
like being sexist.
Basically, it's either that or they create a measure like, too many people are going to jail. We need to do decriminalization that allows people to get out.
Yep.
Like, that's kind of like the thing. And then those people getting out cause a crime increase. But they don't go back to the prior solution.
I think Miss Sparkle is back.
Damn.
Okay,
Sorry.
so I will ask you. You're a mother. How would you feel if someone like right now in the house is criticizing your kid decision and your kid choice? How would you react as a mother?
Like what part with the?
If for example the government in place criticize your son because your son is the opposition, they're like your son is doing bad decision. How would you feel about some stranger saying that to your kid?
Are they in a debate? They're talking. They're just.
Yeah, they weaponize the kid in the debate, or they weaponize. Yeah,
me. They're weaponizing me by using by talking to me. That's messed up. That's messed up. They shouldn't be using me like that.
So you see, that goes back to what I said when you're away, and I will just get back at it because now you're back. So the idea of bringing the mother in was to humanize Pierre Poilievre because he's known as the mean guy, and now he's no longer the mean guy because he's the guy that has a mother, a loving mother. And
okay.
And the other thing is the Liberal, they went at Pierre Poilievre and his mom and saying, "Oh, your mom wouldn't like a son like you," and that kind of stuff. So it's bad
wrong,
optics.
though.
Yeah, it's bad optics for the Liberal to take that way, and it's good optics for Pierre Poilievre to praising his mother and respecting his mother.
Yeah. Like if they were telling me like I disagree with your son's politics on this, and they were giving me like reasons, and they were being like good faith about it, then yeah, I would be okay. But no, if they're using it like me as a weapon, like they were doing with the birthday stuff, then no, that's wrong. And like they're like calling my son a bad son. Like that's messed up. That's wrong. That's immature too. That's like fucking child behavior. That's like a playground shit. You know, like.
But that's that moment. If a swing voter sees that exchange, that banter that lasted for like 5 minutes, they will be like, "These liberals are awful."
Yeah.
It might change their mind.
My mother always taught me this, and that was to keep promises. The first promise by the Prime Minister was to spend less, but the PBO's report shows that the government is going to be spending 2/3 more with its inflationary deficit, which is $1/3 billion that will be added to the debt. That's twice as high as Justice Trudeau. It's because of inflation, and it will cause inflation. Why are Canadians who can't even feed their families, why are we going to have to pay off this irresponsible Prime Minister's debt? The Honourable Finance Minister. Mr. Speaker, once again, I'd like to say if the opposition leader's mother were listening, I wouldn't want to say that he voted against the child care program. I wouldn't want to tell his mother that he voted against the dental plan. I wouldn't want to tell his mother that he voted against pharmacare. I wouldn't want to tell his mother either that he voted against school food programs. Here on this side of the house, we will always be there
it's really
for
irritating
Canadians,
me, though.
and
Like,
even
no.
the opposition leader's mother knows that. Now, a member for St. John. Mr. Speaker, Postal Service is an essential service. The federal government's hastily improvised reform of Canada Post completely overlooks this and overlooks thousands of Quebecers. There are seniors who need to get their mail at home, especially those who live in rural areas. There are also people with disabilities who are concerned. Can the government guarantee to all Quebecers that they will continue to receive the door-to-door services they deserve? The Honourable Minister of Government Transformation. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank my colleague for her question. I agree with her fully that the mail is an essential service for Canadians from coast to coast to coast, and that's why we're bringing in reforms that will make Canada Post viable in the long run. When it comes to community postal boxes, there's a service that adapts for the service for older Canadians and for disabled Canadians. We want to make sure that all Canadians still have access to their mail while preserving and protecting the viability long-term of Canada Post. The Honourable Member.
So now we will move on to
Mr. Speaker, in my right.
The last for that
complex in Alberta. And I'll tell you,
so they didn't bring up the mom.
and utilizing
our
Pete McDonald.
Women and
These
Gender
names are
Equality
crazy.
and the Secretary of State for Small Business and Tourism.
Mr. Speaker, I thank my honourable colleague for that question. This week is a time to reflect on our accomplishments and also
Edmonton Southeast.
I think that's in NDP now.
Prime Minister said Canadians would judge him by the cost at the grocery store. But after 10 years of the same Liberal government, Canadians cannot afford to eat because of taxes on food. Edmonton Food Bank use has been double in the last 5 years. Prices of sugar is up by 20%. Coffee is up by 22%. Grapes are up by 24%. This is because of Liberal taxes on food packaging and carbon taxes on fertilizers. Will the Liberals adopt Conservative motion and stop taxing on food?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Financial
Mr. Speaker, on November 4th, we're going to table a plan that's going to spend less in government operations so we can invest in our country. We're going to build and invest in nation-building projects. We're going to create and build the strongest economy in the G7. We believe in affordability. The party opposite doesn't. I ask them to cut the rhetoric, get on board, join with us. Thank you.
The honourable member for Rosemount-La Petite Patrie. Mr. Speaker, well, things weren't already going well, but now they're worse. In July, we lost 41,000 jobs. In August, we lost 66,000 jobs. The youth unemployment rate is at around 15%. This summer, student unemployment was 18%. And with the housing and climate crises, it's no surprise that young people have lost hope in the future. When will the Liberals finally invest in renewable energy? And when will this government wake up and create good, green, unionized jobs?
Good, green, unionized job, like NDP.
Government House Leader. Mr. Speaker, the member, has provided a long list. Yes, unemployment for youth. We will be tabling a generational budget. But
because of the foreign worker that
to
shouldn't be
support
here.
this budget that will create opportunities and employment and affordability, capabilities and housing for our young people. But in terms of support for renewable energy and technologies, obviously, this is something that characterizes our government, and we'll continue to invest, and Canada will lead the world in green tech, renewable energy. The honourable member for Rosemont Petit Patrie. Not young person will be reassured by that. But Mr. Speaker, the home renovation program is very popular, and with reason, because it lowers heating bills for families and it's good for the environment. People are changing their insulation doors and windows and solar panels, etc. But on October 1st, next week, there won't be a penny left in this program. And what are the Liberals doing? Nothing. They won't be putting money in it. Too bad for the environment and for families who wanted to.
What did you say?
It's no climate stuff. We're talking about climate change. Are we done with the guns?
Yeah. Now it's climate change because NDP wants climate voter to come to them.
Renovate. They'll just have to figure it out themselves. Will the Liberals invest in this program that helps families? The Honourable Minister of the Environment. Mr. Speaker, it gives me the
What does that
opportunity to
mean?
talk
What does he
about
mean by
how
that?
we work well with
What
the
do you mean?
provinces to provide resources to Canadians who want to
All of
renovate their
this, that's
homes and to make them more eco-efficient. So 2 weeks ago already, I was in Manitoba, and we're working for poor Canadians to make these renovations without paying a cent. And now in Ontario, we're helping people to do their renovations as well with the province. We'll be working to help Canadians every day.
So I think what Solder tried to say is if climate change was really impacted all of us because of the amount of snow and cold in Canada, that'd be a good thing because now we would have a warmer climate in some of the part of Canada that are inhabited because of the snow or that have really reduced population would be able to be more livable or more accessible, or it's hard to say, but like that'd be better places to live in under a warmer climate. I think that's what Soldier is trying to say, and I kind of agree because there are lots of parts of Canada where it's very cold and nobody wants to live there because it's too cold, and it's depressing, to be honest, when you only have like sun like 3 months a year. It's like, yo, I want to die.
That's fun though. I like it the cold.
The cold is bad sometimes. Like it can go -50.
Oh, okay.
I would like to draw the attention of members to the presence in the gallery.
Okay, so we will move to the last question period.
Oral questions, questions orales, l'honorable.
Oral questions. The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable.
Le ministre de la Sécurité.
The Minister of Public Safety behaved like a true liberal this week. He said one thing in private and the opposite in public. In a shocking recording taken without his knowledge, the minister admitted that the gun buyback program is not worth the money spent on it, that it will not be effective in preventing crime, and that it is designed to score political points in Quebec. But, like a good liberal, he went ahead with his costly, awful program for honest hunters anyway. As he's been deceiving Canadians, gun crimes have increased by 130% under this Liberal regime. Will this Prime Minister finally fire the Minister of Public Safety? The Honourable Minister of Public Safety. Thank you for the question.
God, his face.
I want to
He
take
has
this
a weird
opportunity
baby
to talk
face. Like,
about our compensation program that we launched this week. As you know, Cape Breton will be the pilot where we launch this program. People can register starting on October the 1st. We are making sure that those prohibited weapons are off our streets, but at the same time ensuring that law-abiding gun owners are able to get fair compensation for turning in or deactivating their prohibited weapons.
Period again. I like that comment. I like it so much. Period. So now, because Pierre Poilievre is not in the house, before I move on to later on, look at the house right now. It's almost empty. And
I was going to ask about that, but I was going to wait till you were done talking. Yeah. Why is it so
Friday?
empty?
It's Friday. And Friday, there's less people. And usually on Friday, what's going on, the other thing is there's a lot of committee. And committee is using usually at least 21 to 23 MPs. So not only some are left, but others are used for other tasks. And we will cover committee eventually, not today because time is running, and committee is very fascinating. I like it so much. It's I maybe I don't like it as much as question period because it's not as flashy and it's more like really tactical and really like all the law works and how it should be implemented or not. And that's more intellectual than what we are watching right now. But yeah, we will cover committee eventually, but not tonight, but eventually we will.
What?
I won't be surprised. So we will move further in that question period near the end, actually, in the last few minutes. Hopefully it's not in the middle.
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Oh,
thank you, Madam
Oh
Speaker.
God, that's a good suit so far.
Melanie Jolie is
every
so
leader
awful.
to accept the consequence of their actions, however heavy they may be. Will the Prime Minister do that today and fire this minister?
The Leader of the Government in the House.
Once again, Madam Speaker, we have a perfect example of the Conservatives refusing to offer up a single common sense proposal to limit the propagation of assault rifles in our country. We refuse to accept the gun regime in the United States where we see
But we don't have it.
tragedies happen in
Whatever.
the streets. We want common sense restrictions on the ability to possess an assault rifle. Hunters don't want them, hunters don't need them. Hunting rifles are preserved, but assault rifles...
Member for St. Albert, Sturgeon River.
Madam Speaker, the Minister of Public Safety got caught on tape admitting that the Liberals' gun buyback is a $750 million scam. All about gaining votes for the Liberals and nothing to do with public safety. The Minister even counseled his tenant to break the law and keep his now illegal firearm.
Given the minister's complete lack of confidence in his own $750 million scheme, will he do what is right and save his reputation and resign?
The honourable minister.
Madam Speaker, in addition to the compensation program pilot that we launched this week in Nova Scotia, we have invested $1.3 billion at our borders. We brought forward Bill C2, which is in front of the House right now, Madam Speaker, which could be passed. With the support of the opposition, we can pass it today to ensure our borders are stronger so that we can keep illegal firearms off our streets. We also will be hiring 1,000 new CBSA and RCMP officers, Madam Speaker, and we will be making criminal justice reform. It's a combination of efforts on this side of the House that will ensure the safety and security of Canadians.
The honourable member for Rivière-des-Neill. Madam
Canada.
Speaker, our strategic
Canadian.
industries are at a crossroads.
Is that how you say it too?
With the tariffs
What?
imposed by our
Wait.
southern neighbours, Canada is ready.
What did you say?
He said Canada. I thought, is that how you pronounce it sometimes? I don't know. I got yelled at by a Canadian because when they call it Canadian.
There's a place
okay.
called Canada.
Okay. Yeah, because when I was
Canada.
live, when I was playing with games with some Canadians, they yelled at me when I actually said Canada. So I was just making sure. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a place called like that. And now
Okay.
we'll just skip that liberal praising the liberals.
Oh, okay.
a
that's the safe, moment. Reliable alternative to Highway 97.
I like his suit.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Our government is always committed to working with provinces to ensure that Canadian residents are safe. We look forward to ongoing discussions in this regard and continuing so that we can find a solution that works for everyone.
The Honourable Member for Riding Mountain.
Madam Speaker, Canadians donate their blood to save lives here at home. But now we learn a foreign drug maker named Grifols is profiting off plasma donated through Canadian Blood Services without donors knowing. Canadian Blood Services promised that none of the plasma collected from Canadians would be used in products sold offshore. That promise has been broken. Does the Prime Minister agree that plasma donated through Canadian Blood Services should stay in Canada? Yes or no?
Oh, I missed it. Where are they sending it?
They send it in other countries
Why?
because it's Canada.
Okay. Well, okay.
And they're the liberals. That's supposed that like we have people starving in our street, yet we keep sending fucking money in Ukraine.
Yeah. Okay. That's weird. So you guys are
Out of
donating
spite.
blood for it to be sent to somewhere else? Do you guys need it though? Is that no? I
Well,
don't know. It's
the
crazy.
question was like the Canadian when they gave blood, they didn't want that blood to be given elsewhere, but the government still did it. So that was more like the gotcha moment where you guys are stupid.
Opposite for his question. Canadian Blood Services is responsible for managing Canada Blood System outside of Quebec at arm's length, and it operates on behalf of the provinces and territories. As Canadian Blood Services moves forward in its agreement with Grifols, we would strongly recommend and encourage it to follow the promises made when it signed the contract in 2022 to ensure the blood products are manufactured exclusively for Canadian patients and to establish the in-Canada supply chain necessary to produce them.
Madam Speaker, Canadians are outraged to learn that Grifols, a foreign company, is making money off their blood donations without their knowledge. But the Prime Minister isn't outraged, and we know why. That's because Brookfield has been aggressively working to buy Grifols over the last year, including while the Prime Minister was chair of Brookfield. Canadian blood donations should save lives in Canada, not line the pockets of foreign companies or the Prime Minister. If Brookfield buys Grifols, how much money will the Prime Minister make?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Madam Speaker, as I had mentioned, Canada Blood Services is responsible for managing Canada Blood System outside of Quebec at arm's length, and it operates on behalf of the provinces and territory. As Canadian Blood Services moves forward in this agreement with Grifols, we would strongly encourage it to follow the promises made when it signed the contract in 2022. Thank you.
So
She's
the
not
point
very,
is
like, how did she get her job? She's not very she's reading off a script. She's not very assertive. She seems like she's gonna, I don't know, go
They
crawl.
voted for Carney, so they voted her in their county because she represents Carney in their county.
Okay.
So I will be honest, Solder. I know about these CCP spies, so Communist China Party spies. They are in parliament, but I will be honest. I don't know which MPs they are. I know one was taken out because it was proven and
really
yeah. They were like 12
spies.
Yeah,
That's
they were,
insane.
and they were all in the Liberal Party.
Oh my goodness
and
gracious!
and one of these 12 got taken out of Parliament, but the worst in that is he just got a slap on the wrist.
Oh my goodness,
But
really? Okay.
I don't think she is one of them, and that goes back to what we said about the security clearance. Like, if Polyev learns about one of the MPs being one of these CCP spies, he won't be able to reveal it to the public under that gag order. So one of the many reasons why he doesn't want to take that gag order is to make sure, okay, if I learn about one of these MPs, I will be able to do something against it because I won't have the gag order. So that's another really big factor. Now, to get back to what I said, Brookfield. Okay, Brookfield is a company within Carney Interest. So basically, Carney has a lot of stocks in Brookfield, and he makes money out of it. And also, it was proven after the election that he has more than 103 conflict of interest. So that means pretty much anything his government does will benefit him at some point. And Brookfield is one of these importer of blood from us to foreigner, and that's really bad because Brookfield is a private company that's not even in Canada anymore because Carney is a tax dodger and he placed it in the US. So basically, what that question was more about is look at the conflict of interest Carney has. You move Brookfield elsewhere, and blood that are given by Canadian is moved to Brookfield. So that blood benefits our prime minister if it's sold outside of the country.
Oh, you're selling it? Stop. You guys are selling the blood too? That's
Brookfield is selling it. So it's not even us. We don't even make money, but Carney surely does. And that's the point of that question. And it looks very bad. As much as she tries to defend it, it looks very bad because people donate that blood. It's given to a private company that then sell that blood outside.
They're vampires, yeah.
And the worst than that, Carney is making money out of that because he has stocks in Brookfield. So it's a big scandal. It's a big scam. And again, if swing voters see that and hear that, they won't vote Liberal anymore because they will be like, yeah, they are corrupt. They are disgusting.
That's what you were hoping last time, though. But they did end up still voting Liberal, though. So
yeah, but now they are down in the polls. Like it's really bad. Each poll they are making, it's getting worse, and Conservative are maintaining their place, and Liberals are only dropping. So
okay.
The Honourable Member for Baratha.
Madame la Présidente.
Madam Speaker, my question is for the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure. In my riding of Baratha, like elsewhere in Canada, people are calling for housing.
Okay, so that guy will praise the party.
Donated to Ukraine.
So
in the three.
Oh my gosh, that's
Ukraine. Let's bring back Ukraine. That one will be funny.
Build Canada Homes to meet housing needs throughout the country. The program works with provinces,
the new
cuts
translator's
red
voice is
tape,
freaking
and helps small communities build
worst.
faster. We are working in close collaboration with Quebec.
Sounds like the tree.
Where local organizations are vital to getting housing built. We have a good record of cooperation with Quebec, and we will continue in that vein.
Madam Speaker, in 2022, the Liberals imposed a 35% tariff on Russian fertilizer. By December of that year, Canadian farmers had paid $115 million in tariffs, which the government donated to Ukraine. In the 3 subsequent years, the tariff has remained in place, and a further $300 million has been paid to the government by farmers. But the funds are no longer being donated to Ukraine, and because replacements are not available, imports of Russian fertilizer have not gone down. So if the tariff doesn't actually hurt Russian exports or help Ukraine, why is the government still extracting hundreds of millions each year from Canadian farmers?
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
I've stood with Ukraine at every step of the way. Unlike the Conservative, I'd be very careful for them to raise questions like that. I can even tell you, Madam Speaker, as the chair of the G7 finance minister, we always have an item with respect to Ukraine. I was with the finance minister of Ukraine just earlier this week, Madam Speaker, and one thing that the Ukrainian government know, and all Ukrainian, it is Canada will be by their side today, for the future, and as long as it takes, Madam Speaker.
No, that's what people want, isn't it?
The honourable member for Vancouver East.
The Liberals abruptly announced that they will end door-to-door mail delivery. The elderly, rural, remote, and Indigenous communities will have a hard time accessing their mail. Those who work 9 to 5 will have to take time off work to get their mail. There's a better way forward. Instead of tearing down Canada Post, will the minister build them up by reintroducing postal banking, building an electric vehicle charging network, expand its infrastructure by creating a community hub of services with high-speed internet, computer access, video conferencing, and e-commerce support? Will the minister do the right thing?
Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Liberals don't know what is the right thing.
Okay. And our government is clear that endless government bailouts are not the answer. We've already stepped in with significant support, but without real reform, the future of this public service and the jobs that depend on it are at risk. Our government's directed Canada Post to take concrete steps. These changes will put Canada Post on a more stable footing, ensuring that it continues to serve Canadians well.
The honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Earlier this week in Ottawa, I was honored to meet with brave Indigenous women from Guatemala.
Oh my God.
Representing the Xinca people who are fighting a Canadian silver mine at Escobal that's violating their rights. I thought right away, I know, I'll go to the ombudsperson for responsible enterprise to see if they can investigate. They don't have good investigative tools. They don't have teeth in that office. But right now, the office is empty. Can the honourable member for Minister for International Trade inform us when the new ombudsperson will be in place?
The Honourable Minister for International Trade.
Madam Speaker, through you, I'd like to thank the member from Saanich Gulf Islands for that very important question.
Savage, but honest. I like it.
To respect human rights
I agree.
and abroad.
They're all
National
old.
contact point is part
The good one are in
benefits
commentary
of
right now.
OECD guidelines. The guidelines are the most complete and authoritative set of global standards on how to run a business responsibly. Canada's national contact point contributes to the resolution of disputes. We encourage all businesses to follow responsible business practices, and I look forward to following up with my colleague after QP on our very important question.
Well, that was question period for this week. We covered all 5 days, and that was quite fun. Last week was fiery. Last week was far better, I will be honest with you. But this week, still had moments. Like, to give you an idea, Ms. Sparkle, because you were not around last week. Last week, we had the most hilarious moment where a liberal had a question for another liberal, but that same question did highlight one of the weaknesses the government had. And everyone laughed because they knew, even the person that was asking the question, she knew it was looking really, really bad for the party. Because they're the one in charge and they're the one that created these issues. So that was a legendary moment where everyone in the house agreed to laugh. That was a uniting moment. I liked it so much. And they needed to do retakes because they kept laughing. Even the guy answering the question, he kept laughing. So that's
that sucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Last week was more fiery. It was a better week, but I still enjoyed it. I think Question Period is very fun, and I think
I kind of want to know what his mom said now after all that, after the musing. I'm kind of wonder if she had to like say something after all that.
probably.
Yeah. So sorry.
I'm excited. Eventually, we will cover committee, and committee is much shorter because usually what they clip is like 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes they clip shorter. We never get to see the full thing because a lot of committee is actually confidential because sometimes they bring witness and sometimes they want to protect the testimony or the witness. So committee is not as transparent as Question Period, but it's something to look forward to. With that being said, what do you have going on your end of the internet, Miss Sparkle?
Kate is gonna. I don't know if you know who Kate is, but Kate and I are gonna, and Trace for the Black Street. I'm gonna be a guest on there.
Amazing.
Soon. And then I was gonna say to because I was gonna type, but I'll just say it. So the natives here in my state are really like they're demanding as hell. My state's really bad. We give it like the natives here wanted all their R word kits to be done. They said their R word kits weren't getting done. And now they passed the thing where it was demanded that they get theirs done first. And then the guy was like, who does the R word kits, he was like, we don't put the race of the people on the kits. So how are we supposed to get this done? So it's just really annoying. It's annoying. That's why I made that noise when they brought up the indigenous. But anyways, also I don't know. I'm probably gonna stream with Enzo tomorrow. And if Enzo is still streaming right now, yeah, after this, I'm leaving you. I'm going to Penzo. So
amazing. Thank you a lot for joining. What about you, Draken? What do you have going on your end of the internet? The dragon. Is the dragon with us? I guess not.
Probably passed out. Is he muted too?
So the dragon is out. So tomorrow we talk about one battle after another. It's a very political movie that's anti-right wing. I will admit I still enjoyed it. It was entertaining, but it had flaws. I cannot wait to review it. And again, I think it was a okay movie. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's not the best either. It had issues, even politic aside. If I add the politic issue I had with that movie just sinks and drawn even further in being really bad. But as a reviewer, I try to put my politics and my bias aside and just enjoy movies. And by doing that, again, I was entertained by it. I disagree with a lot of the message in it, but that was a fun trip. Cannot wait to review it tomorrow.
That's what Penzo just said too about that, the same movie. Yeah, that the politics he didn't agree with, but besides that, it's a okay movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it had issues. It's not perfect. And I've seen a lot of movies that came out in 2025. I've reviewed a lot, and that one is like really, really. When I say in the middle, it's in the middle. Like I've seen 115 or 116. And I think that one would be like more like closer to the 80-ish place. With that being said, Tuesday we talk about MCU stuff with Guardian of the Galaxy, Thor 4, Ant-Man 3, and Wakanda Forever. Now that's Tuesday. Wednesday we talk about Dexter, and next Saturday we have another Question Period week. I cannot
multi-strip stream. He strips in a pool.
And
pull your hair.
Eventually we will cover committee. Not now because I'm quite occupied. I started being in politics. I will talk to you a bit backstage about that, but I'm in politics now, so that's one thing. I'm very occupied. It's time consuming. Anyhow, thank you for sitting through Parliament with us, and see you next Saturday. If you're just tuning in for politics, that's next Saturday, or tomorrow we have a talk about one battle after another, and we are out.